Hello, this is Nikita again, and now I'm playing against Stockfish 5, which is, in my opinion, much stronger than Stockfish 4, and I hope my thinking system will work in this game as well. Since the Stockfish 5 is much stronger, it blunders much less than Stockfish 4, and I need to be very careful what Stockfish 5 is planning to do. I noticed, at least for myself, it's not really good to just play waiting strategy or waiting for Stockfish 5 to blunder. That will be not probably really a strong strategy in this game. Instead, in this game, I want to play more actively, and I want to create more troubles for Stockfish, to confuse it, because if you confuse your opponent, then the probability that your opponent will blunder increases dramatically. So I'll try to play like simple moves, really simple, and moves that everyone can understand, but at the same time it should be a little bit more aggressive than was with Stockfish 4 or below that. So e4 traditionally, let's grab this pawn, let's move the d4, let's attack the queen immediately, let's support the center of the board with another knight, let's offer to trade the bishops. Okay, and of course castling. The CEO now is in open space, sitting in the open space, very vulnerable, unprotected, but CEO of the company wants to sit in his private office, and I'm going to place the CEO in his private office now, like this. And the office should be also ventilated, so let's make sure that there is an air in the CEO office. Okay, second bishop is currently not developed, so I'll put it on more active square on f4. It got attacked immediately, so I can whether hide it somewhere on g3 or h2, or I can put it in the center, thinking that the knight will take, then I take with the knight, and my knight staying in the center of the board would be quite strong. I don't want to really move it back, I kind of need to control this diagonal. So I would probably put it in the center. I don't know is it right or wrong, but at least there is no immediate there is no harm doing that for me. Okay, computer is continuing with development, and this pawn structure where king likely supposed to be castled is not super strong. I can try to attack this pawn. And of course, yeah, I need to bring rooks to the game as well, because now it's time to be more active. Also, I can bring knight closer to the game. If knight takes, then bishop becomes my target. I take the bishop, is attacking the rook. So probably I would first play kind of aggressive move. I would offer to trade the knight. Another knight is taken. I'll take it with my knight. Knight in the center of the board is always good knight. Good night. I hope I can say good night to my opponent soon. And this pawn structure where the king is currently sitting is not really not really good for my opponent. So I should kind of use this opportunity to make it even weaker. I can trade the knight. If knight takes me, I take with the queen. The pawn on e7 is also weak. So I can potentially bring the rook to the game or just attack the pawn over here. So maybe I'll first bring the rook to the game. Okay, knight is now taken. I take it with the queen or with the rook. I have a choice. If I have a choice, I need to decide what's better. Probably queen. Queen looks more reasonable. If I take it with the rook, then I can potentially also bring another rook to the game. So probably also rook sounds interesting. So let me take it with the rook for now. That would give me opportunity to bring another rook to the game. And I shouldn't forget about these pawns. I should attack them. I really should do that. I can also protect the pawn in the center. It's kind of important pawn. It has to be protected. I'll protect it first. I don't really care about that at this point. I can attack this pawn now here. I would take it. I would take it really. And then king becomes even more vulnerable. There is a chance to grab this pawn somehow and then bring the rook and queen to the h file in order to attack the king. I can also use my second rook attack the pawn here, bring second rook, bring queen, and then computer will probably suffer. So I think if I attack this pawn, that would give me an opportunity to utilize another rook. So I attack this pawn. I can take with rook on e4 or rook on f1. If I take a rook with the rook that stays on f1, move it to f4, then move it to h4, and then this rook prevents my queen to go and to do checkmate. If I take with this rook, and then move it to here and then checkmate. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4 in first case and 1, 2, 3 in second case. So yeah, if I take the pawn with this rook, then another move, number 2, would be rook on h4 and then queen checkmates on h7. It kind of sounds like a plan. I'm sure computer will see it, but at this point it looks okay. If I take, computer takes here, I can also do a check, yeah. I think I'll go for this plan. And then, as I said, rook comes to h4. And that can be already dangerous for my opponent. So I'm threatening to checkmate Stockfish 5 now. Yes, computer protects with f5. I think that's the only way, to be honest, to protect in this case. I can bring the knight to attack the rook. I can also bring the queen. So all the three pieces, like queen, rook and knight, should come together and work for checkmate. The question is how to do it fast. Queen f3, then queen h5 would be checkmate. If I do queen a f3, computer takes my knight. Then I can do a check. Then king goes on f7. I do check and take the queen. So probably queen on f3 sounds okay. If I do queen g3, in this case computer cannot utilize its bishop. If queen g3, the bishop is pinned, then rook can come on f6 to protect. That would also be kind of dangerous for computer. If queen here, f3, if rook comes, I come, rook comes to support. In any case, it's very important now to bring the queen to the game, and probably also later move the king out and bring second rook to the game. So I need to do some threats now, but okay, let me go with g3 for now. I want to pin the knight. I want to pin the bishop. I go g6, and now I wanna go on h7. That would be a check, and computer escapes. Yeah, if I do check, computer escapes. Then I can do check again with my knight. I can do check again. And computer decides to sacrifice the queen, which is indication of resignation. I don't see any trap here, so I would just take it. And now I think with +6, the only way for me to win is to trade everything else. So I need to trade the rooks. And if I successfully trade the rooks, then basically I win the game. So the bishop is pinned, so I can propose to trade the rook with moving the rook on h6. Bishop cannot take. If rook takes, then I cannot take with the queen. Doesn't work. So in this case, the better decision probably would be for me to I would pin the rook probably first, moving the queen. And if another rook comes, I can take it, and still I win the endgame. Yeah. So probably I would pin it here. Yeah, rook comes, take, and I have two rooks versus one rook, which is +5, it's still winning endgame. Trade always accepted, and then it's only to gather the pawns. So should be very easy. I will just grab all the pawns now, and computer cannot do anything else. Now it's just technical ending. I will not comment these moves, they don't really matter, but generally I would just elaborate while I'm checkmating my opponent. I would elaborate a little bit about Stockfish 5. So Stockfish 5 is kind of a cornerstone for me. It's not so easy to win Stockfish 5, but as I said, once I start winning Stockfish 5, I start feeling much better and much more confident in chess. And the best strategy that I found for myself to play against Stockfish 5 is to play a little bit more aggressive, not too much aggressive. If you play too much aggressive, then you need to calculate a lot. And computer is better than me in calculating the moves. I would just prefer to be slightly more aggressive, and then I noticed that computer blunders if you play relatively aggressively. So I will just do a ladder checkmate. Yeah, that's it. So overall, that was the story. Probably I would still try to play against Stockfish 6, but for me, as a not professional chess player, I'm not a master. I just play for maybe a couple of years. I start playing very late in my 30s. It's kind of an achievement, and I just wanted to share it. So the lesson from all these games, from Stockfish 1 to Stockfish 5, would be to try to understand the strategy that you are going to use in each game before you start the game. I decide for myself I need to play relatively aggressively. I need to make like more active moves than before. If you play with real opponents, of course, and especially if you don't know your opponent rating, I would just stay with familiar openings, solid moves, do not take unnecessary risks, and play like really solid, simple chess. That's the best strategy to play against real opponents. Again, against computers it's a bit different, because once you play a lot with certain level, you kind of start understanding what computer is really doing and how it plays. So I found that Stockfish 5 is much more advanced than Stockfish 4, and if I just stay with my strategies that I used before, waiting for computer to blunder, it doesn't really work here. Stockfish 5 also blunders, but it blunders maybe 2 or 3 times in 40 moves. So it's not so obvious for non-professional chess player to notice it and to utilize it. But there's also interesting feature in Stockfish 5 is that if you play solid moves, if you don't do blunders or mistakes, at some point Stockfish 5 starts to blunder a lot. But if you do mistakes, or if you blunder, then Stockfish 5 goes to the beast mode and destroys everything. So I would suggest you, if you still cannot beat Stockfish 5, to play solid, understandable, simple moves, but active moves at the same time. So develop all your pieces, try to create some threats for your computer. Do not take unnecessary risks. These are the only things that you need to beat Stockfish 5. Then Stockfish 5, as you saw in this game, start blundering and kind of resigning. So hope it was helpful, and let's see you another time when I play against Stockfish 6.